Hey young world, OJ here, Juice Loops Live. I'm in Lincoln Park. I'm right on the edge of the zoo. It's bright and early. It actually has been very sunny, but the fog just rolled in. It always gets a handful of degrees cooler when the fog rolls in like this. It usually only lies within a couple of blocks of the lake here. Going through with the black, mapping out the line work. There's a lot happening in this landscape, so I'm going to actually be going through and making things a little more playful, really exaggerating some of these arcs and curves in here, especially this front handrail. I'm going to start there, and it's our most foreground element, and it is going to be much more curvier than it actually is, much more stylized. You know, Chicago's a fairly flat landscape, but I'm going to be coming in here and adding hills as if it'll kind of seem like rolling hills in the image, but they're much more subtle than they actually will appear in my drawing. The lake is a very odd shape, and they have a hard, straight angle path going around it. It's just going to create for some kind of Looney Tune-esque backgrounds. They have this bizarre dome that's kind of looking like a honeycomb over here. It's been there as long as I can remember. I'm not sure exactly what it's for. Photo shoots for sure. Weddings probably. The majority of the zoo is behind me. You can see the main building right, or not the main building, but one of the main buildings right there. These apartment buildings behind me basically disappearing into the fog. Anyways, back to the drawing. Even though my view of downtown is really great, I'm gonna still take some liberties with these buildings, and I'm just gonna eliminate some of them, rearrange just the slightest bit for some of the key players. You know, Sears Tower, Hancock. There's a building over here that is some type of zoo building, but kind of looks like a barn. Before I got the buildings in the background, this almost looked like a very country, rural, rolling hills, West Virginia landscape. Obviously that changed once I put the buildings in there, especially the iconic, recognizable buildings. A lot of trees in this image. You know, I'm kind of bulking some of them together. Trees have to be stylized. There's simply too many to be focusing on individually. Like they have to be stylized in order for me to ever get this drawing done, or it would just take forever. Instead of the white, this is a metallic gold. It's really nice. It's a chisel tip. It's a very opaque gold and goes right over top of that black and that brown in one pass. I've been out here long enough. I've been a little over an hour today. I've actually been standing the whole time, which is something I don't normally do. I didn't bring any coffee either. I'm ready to get back to the studio, get some morning coffee in. Wild how this fog rolled in though. Really wild, because I'm telling you, it was gorgeous. And I'm sure it's going to be a gorgeous day, but we just got thick fog over here on the lake right now. I mean, really thick. Like, I can't see any of the buildings of downtown right now. I'm out here trying to deal with talking to this camera in between strangers in public. Trying not to be too awkward, but you know, obviously that's going to happen. Before I took the drawing off the board, before I untaped it, I was looking at it and it just didn't feel done. It didn't have enough dark areas. The black that has been running out of ink that I've been using for shading, it definitely was like running way more dry than usual, to the point where it wasn't even making a mark. So I think between that and just standing for the entirety of the drawing, I thought I was done, but in reality, I had a little more to go, and I came back here and I was looking at it and I just jumped in. I didn't even record some of that. It's got a lot richer now. It's a lot fuller. I added a lot more shading, especially in the grassy areas, the lake and the water, some dark around the edges, and making it feel just way more of a complete piece. I added a reflection of the skyline buildings, this upside down, slightly blurred, mostly dark reflection in the water. You really feel the shininess and the reflection of that surface. I did go through and thicken up some of the leaves, adding some of the highlights. You know, this gold marker that I was using, I was testing out a chisel tip, and it worked great for some things, but not so great for other things. I think I'm gonna go back to the regular bullet point, fine point, whatever you want to call it. That being said, at this point, I'm about finished. I added a lot more gold. I just balanced out the color a lot more. It needed to happen. I didn't think it did, or I thought I was done with the piece, but then when you actually look at it, I wasn't done, and I had to fill it out a little bit more. That's what I did in this second session. You know, I'm sorry I didn't record all of it, but you'll get to see a little bit, and at least you're getting to see the finished product. And you know, I just wanted to be fully transparent about that, because part of what I'm striving to do with these drawings is do them start to finish in one sitting, in one session. And you know, it's okay to not hit that. You know, it's just my silly rule. I can break it whenever I want, or sometimes you think you're done and you're not really done. Or maybe those exterior factors, the marker running dry, getting uncomfortable standing against the rail on a bridge for too long. You know, there's a variety of things like that came into play, but came back in and finished the drawing. I really love the way that it looks now. The gold and the brown and the black. This is actually my high school colors. Go Monarchs. Anyways, thank you for watching once again. I'm gonna have another video coming next Thursday. I'll see you next time. Thank you. Peace.